kick assets. Cha-ching! Ow! Hey, Maui. What do you think about my garden? You like that? Oh, that's how much you like it. You're peeing in it. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I see you peeing there. I saw it. You're busted, buddy. Wow. Strawberries are kicking ass. Look at that. Everything's growing. Let's see the one strawberry down here. Oh, this one's ready to go. Oh, get away. Don't eat my strawberries. That one over there is getting pretty good. Nice. Wipe it up.
Tissue there? Can you pass me that towel?
Oh, it's not a towel. It's a glove. What do you need, a towel or a tissue?
Oh, I don't know. Fucking new house.
Hey everybody, you're here with Michael, and I am going to be giving you an interview today with one of my old friends, Mr. Colin Kozik, the founder of Kick Assets. Colin, how are you today?
Good. Where's my cha-ching?
Oh, don't forget that. Kick Assets, cha-ching.
Thank you. That's better. That's a proper.
Come on everybody, do it with us. 3, 2, 1. Kick Assets. There you go.
What the hell is this? I ask you something goes overboard.
Alrighty. So,
Welcome.
we are here today to talk about the journey, your journey. Well, I was a part of that journey too, but we'll get into that later. Of your road from 0 houses to how many houses is it now?
17?
And what's the date today, Colin?
April something.
Knowing this guy, by the time the video will be out, it'll probably be like 18 or 19, but we don't know, say that. All right, so where should we start? Let's start off with
Property number 1.
property number 1. Yeah. When did you first acquire that amazing property?
That first property I acquired was in 2007. The process started in 2006.
Yeah.
And you've seen this property before. It's an actual condo near the Yamanote line, which was a pretty interesting story.
Can't lose that on the Yamanote line, right?
No, of course not. I mean, this was the time where I was renting in a one bedroom apartment, 50 minutes walk from Tabata Station, Nishinipori Station, and on the way to my Juku job where I worked with you. And one day I was just walking by the street to the station, and I looked up and I saw this sign, 20 million and up for a condo. And for me, Tokyo, that sounded really cheap. So like, So I had 10 minutes before my train was coming. I'm like, you know what? Whipped into the showroom right away, and I saw the building. And of course, only one property was for 20 million yen. It was 23, 26. Everything gets up from there. So they wanted to be able to make that ad, so to make it not false. And I walked right in, and they, oh, how can I help you? Would you like to look at a place? I'm like, no, I just want that one right there.
Just like that, eh?
Just like that.
Yeah.
I didn't have the money. I didn't have the loan or anything. I had like maybe a million yen in the bank at the time.
Yeah.
Okay. From saving. And he's like, are you sure you don't want to discuss this with your wife when you get home? I'm like, no, I want that one. And I asked him, do you know why? And he said, no, he couldn't figure it out on his own. I had to tell him, because if I came back tonight, that one would be gone. Why is that? Because there's only one for 20 million yen. And it's either going to be that or the penthouse is going to be sold first. Every time in a building, that's what happens. Because you get the best deal. Because I mean, the 20 million, 23, 26, 29, they're all the same rooms for a different floor. What's the point? So basically, that's what happened. I accepted that, and I had to get a loan, obviously. So, because he's selling me, oh, you can get a loan, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't have my Eijūken at the time. So this is 2006. I got my Eijūken.
Do you want to tell the people out there who don't speak fluent Japanese what that is?
Eijūken is PR, permanent residency.
Yeah.
So,
Without that, it's pretty hard to get a loan here in Japan.
Correct. But even though I didn't have it, he was still willing to push it.
So do you want to tell us how you went about managing that?
Sure. Basically, I mean, the reason he started the process is because I was married. So you can still get a loan if you're married. It's really depending on what they co-sign and stuff like that. So I still applied, saying I was getting my PR, but they take time to get the PR. I was lucky to get it pretty quick. So this place was 2006. It was still being built. So I had to get it done by 2007, right? Which gave me a few months span. And I pulled it off as well. But I only got approved for 14 million yen.
Ooh.
Yeah. So even though I was making whatever, 4 million a month working at the Juku we worked at. And basically I had to get my wife to co-sign for me. So I was able to get over that finish line to do that. Yeah. So that place, it was an easy decision. For her, it wasn't. She didn't want to buy it.
Why is that?
She didn't want a loan. For Japanese people, Japanese people don't like the pressure of a loan. And basically I had to convince her, and she still said no, but she did it for me. I mean, it was an easy sale. This place was 5 minutes closer to the station. It's brand new.
Yeah.
The payments were the same as my rent for the mortgage payments, and it's ours. So it's such an easy decision. But for Japanese people, they don't want loans and stuff like that. They don't think that next level, some people, So, but I got it anyways. It did put a little strain on our relationship, obviously. But I figured it had to be done for the future. Owning your own place is step one. I didn't want to pay rent anymore. Obviously, when you're starting out in life, you have no choice to pay rent, so you can do that. But if there's a point where you can actually buy something, go for it.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's how I bought property number one.
All right. So, I mean, most people would be, ecstatic just to be able to buy one house, and they'd be quite happy with that and live their life in their little house. And what made you think that you wanted to get a second house?
Well, after living in that place for about a year and a half, like I said, things weren't going great. And, well, I don't want to get into that details here, but I got divorced, to put it simply. And that was part of it. She didn't want that loan, and that really stressed her out, even though I was paying for it. Just didn't click. So we decided to go our own ways. And I was still living there for about a year and a half or whatever. And then at the time, I also started my English school out in Saitama. So instead of wasting money on living in a one room in Tokyo by myself, which was a complete waste, I decided to rent a one room apartment near my school, which made it easier for commute to get to my school. And I could also rent out my first property, my condo in Tokyo there. And the rent I was getting paid for the mortgage, plus I was getting a little extra on top. So I was able to make money. Yeah, so that was your first taste. And plus I don't have to worry about that payment anymore, because the one room was costing me Goma yen a month, 50,000 yen versus a mortgage for 100,000 yen, right?
Yeah.
At the time it was cheap, because properties back then were cheaper. Now it's like double or triple the price. So.
And for some of you guys that are new to Japan here, can you tell us what are the monthly fees of your typical, of the place that you had in Nishinipori, there, your apartment?
For
like strata fees?
Yeah, the mortgage was 100,000 yen, and the strata fees were, at the time, they were 160,000 yen. Or sorry, 16,000 yen.
16,000 yen.
16,000 yen.
Okay.
Ichiman rokusen yen. So, I mean, prices have gone up. My strata fees have gone up to 25 now, I think, 25,000.
Yeah.
So they've gone up a bit. It's just inflation and stuff.
But I mean, you were still making a bit of profit.
Yeah, because the rents have also gone up as well. So I've always made money off the place, but now the place is paid off. So now it's all cash. But that was the only loan that I ever got out of all my properties. So these are fees, like, even though I'm making $100 a month or nothing, or I'm breaking even, at least I'm not wasting money on rent, and it's my place. Now, if you don't plan on living here long term, or you're still starting out, then that's no issue. People always say, oh, it's not right to own. There's owners and there's renters. You want to work your way up the ladder, you just do that. It's there for you to work way up, right? So, I mean, to each their own. Some people don't want to own their entire life. And some people start late, some people start early. It is what it is, right?
So for some of those first-time buyers here that haven't bought anything before in Japan, unlike in, let's say, a country like China where you have to be a Chinese national to own land there, are there any rules against foreigners being able to buy?
No, anybody can own a piece of land here.
Even without permanent residency or...
As long as you got cash. So to get a loan here is really tough, obviously. You need to either be married and or have permanent residency. And even then, it's not easy. You need a bank account here, which you can't get unless you actually live here. So if you're coming from abroad or you want to buy from abroad, you can do that. But you need cash. You won't be able to get all properties, but you'll be able to get something. The issue is buying a property here does not mean you get a visa.
Yeah.
That's too bad. You know, you can't buy your way into the country. You can if you invest in other places, but that's extra steps.
So I think, you know, for some of you guys thinking, oh, that might scare you away, just stop and think, for the amount of money you're probably going to have to put down on your deposit for a loan in your home country is probably what you'll be paying for a lot of the houses that he has bought himself over the past, you know, decade and a half or so.
Yes,
right?
that's correct.
So just don't let that scare you away. Just let that sink in.
And sometimes you just got to start. In 2007, when I bought my property here, property was cool, but I didn't imagine building an empire.
Yeah.
You know, I just wanted to start somewhere. And then when you start that, it starts opening your eyes and opening doors to other opportunities. Obviously, at the time, I wasn't making a lot of money. I had my school, I was trying to build up, and I had my rent being covered. So it took a long time to save, you know, eventually. And that's all I did. I just focused on saving. So, which leads me to property number 2.
Yeah, so let's dive into that one. So how did you come across that?
That was by chance. Basically, like I said, I was living between 2007 and 2012 because I didn't have a lot of money. One way to get a cheap property in Japan is either living in the middle of nowhere, which wasn't feasible for me because I was out of school, or number 2 is to go to an auction house. So I can teach you about that here. Auction houses aren't like Canada or America. They're pretty tough here. You put a blind bid in and you go against other people. So when you're looking at the original prices and the minimum price they want to take, it's pretty, you're like, wow, that's cheap, you know, but it's a pain in the ass, which I didn't know at the time. So I went to one agent in Uruguay here just to ask some questions about these things, and they didn't really want to answer it because they wanted me to buy their properties.
Of course, yeah.
And of course, I signed their documents, like to who I'm, what I am, because to get answers from any agency, you got to sign up to them. They're not going to just talk to you. So that will lead into my story in a minute. But anyhow, so I bid on 2 houses doing the auction route, you know, because we're talking like 3-4 million yen for a house in these areas. It was just like, wow, you know, obviously there's stuff that goes with it. Auctions, you're not allowed to see the property. There's a lot of catch-22s on it as well. That's why they're dirt cheap. But even so, I lost on both bids, and I was getting kind of frustrated. I'm like, okay, screw this. So I just focused on building the school and saving the money, and that's it.
So hold on, for the people that are interested in these auctions, you know, a lot of the foreigners coming here, they obviously don't speak a lick of Japanese. Is it easy for these first-time buyers, these rookies to Japan, to just go into one of those auctions and buy a house? Do you need some sort of Japanese ability?
Yeah, they won't help you. When I was in the office asking questions, they were kind of rude and like, research it yourself, do this. They basically, all they did is provide me with a binder, and you had to flip through it yourself, and you have to judge if it's a good property or not, because like I said, you can't go inside. Now, this was 2010-ish. Now they have online stuff to do that, but still, there's nowhere to ask questions, etc. You're gambling it on your own. You're buying it that's what it is. It's an auction. That's why you get great deals. You get properties for half the price. The shitty thing is that you cannot see what other people are buying, so you waste a lot of energy and time. So what I learned from that is, screw that, get your negotiation skills up, look at home or other websites, and just find a property you like and do your best to bid it. Because you're basically paying a little bit more, but you're paying for the portion that they got those properties if they got it off an auction or whatever. So you're getting your value worth. If you could pull off an auction, get a great deal, good for you. But it's not easy. And I already spoke fluent Japanese at the time. So,
just for some of you who think this is probably all way too complicated, I think Colin offers all of these services in his company. Is that correct?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
I
so
also offer a course too.
That'll all be listed in the description below. And
yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yes, we will.
This is the journey about my 17 crazy ass houses.
Yes.
Anyhow, so that's where it leads me to property number 2. Remember, I went to the Uruguay and I signed that document, and then I lived in my 1-bedroom here. I got hit by a car. I was riding a a scooter. I got hit. I was injured for a while, and didn't want to go out much. But this guy phones me up. He's like, oh yeah, you applied blah 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 to this office maybe a couple years ago. I was just curious. Are you still looking for properties? I'm like, what? No. You know, like, yeah, whatever. I didn't think about it. I was just like, why don't you just come up for a bit? We'll take you around to see some properties. I'm like, I actually happen to move to this area now, so it's a lot easier for me to do. If I still lived in Tokyo or somewhere else, I would be like, me being lazy.
Yeah.
But I was close, and I didn't have any plans that day, so I said, fine. So he came to pick me up at my little 1 room, and he drove me around to see 4 or 5 properties that day, all because I signed that one document.
Like 2 years prior.
Yeah, 2 years prior, and I'm like, I knew, like, you don't register the numbers. Like, who's this?
Yeah.
You know, you get a lot of bullshit calls in Japan from sales and stuff like that. And I actually thought he was one of them, but he wasn't. He was an actual agency. And that makes sense. Yeah, 2 years ago. Okay, he explained to me. And so yeah, I went with him, and he showed me some properties, and we're going through the day, and he was showing me like 10 million, 12 million, and at the time I actually saved up. I think I had 10 million in cash. I actually saved up 10 million, $100,000 in cash Canadian at the time, you know, from my school. And
It's a good little saver.
yeah. I could save like 20K a year at the time. So 4 or 5 years worth of money. And I didn't buy anything. I was very frugal at the time, so that's why I was able to do that. And basically, so that's why he was taking me to those properties. And he took me to one that was 8 million yen. It was non-rebuildable. At the time, I didn't know what non-rebuildable means. You know what that means?
Yeah, so for some of the people who, again, don't know what that means, non-rebuildable refers to a house that, you know, usually when you buy an old house, you could just knock it down and do whatever you want to it. But they've got a lot of odd laws and rules here in Japan, and
Yes.
you cannot just take it all down. And I guess what the main reason for them doing is they probably want people to knock the house down so they can widen the street in the future. Is that
That could be
correct? Yeah,
that could be one reason.
usually, yeah.
Yeah. But there are a lot of benefits to it too
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
You get lower taxes, and when you buy it, you can get like 50 to 30% off the actual normal price it would be priced at. Why? Because you cannot get a loan to buy those properties, and only cash bidders can get those properties. Now, each property in that situation is different. Some you'll have like a little pathway behind a bunch of houses in the middle of all these houses. Like, what is this? You know? Or you'll have one that's connected to a street that you don't own. But it's like, but why can't I rebuild this? Well, you can. You just got to ask for permission from either the city hall and or your neighbors to access that road. So there's a bit of range there, but in the eye of the law, they're all the same. So the best properties you get are the ones that look like they could be rebuildable, but they're not, because you get a good price, but the property's still great. So if you saw the one I eventually got, you'd notice that there's a parking lot in front of it. So it's right there. So it's not like it's being blocked off. So it was still okay. So anyhow, when I went with that guy, he took me around to see the properties. I was like, blah, blah. They were like crap holes, a lot of renovations, just too much work. What's this? Dungy, grungy, moldy, etc. And about 4 in, like, I wasn't feeling it. 10 million, 12 million. I'm like, nah. I was surprised at how cheap some of the properties could be. Yes. Because, you imagine houses in Japan are going to be expensive. But even I was not aware of that at the time. So I started researching. You got to research. So he took me down to one last house at like 6:30 at night. It was getting dark. And I'm like, this place is actually not so bad. It needs renovations, but it's still standing. It's got a good size, good layout. It's 12 to 15 minutes walk to one of the stations. And I was like, I could see this. And they were asking 8 million yen for the place. And I put a joke bid in for 6 million yen, thinking they wouldn't accept, like, what, or they might counter me. Even 8 million was a good deal for the place. It was not rebuildable. And they accepted. They actually accepted. So normally this place would be, the land itself would be worth 15 to 20 million itself, but because it's not rebuildable, it's
They
lower.
never bothered counting you?
No.
At 7? Just, okay, 6. So they obviously...
Yeah, I was surprised. It caught me off guard, because if they counted at 7, I might have still said yes, because, it was a good deal. But at the same time, I'm still learning about this. So I'm good with money, and I'm smart at that stuff, but you still don't know what actual value is until you actually get into the business. And now I realize that value was actually a steal. It was a gem, a steal, like, wow. And it was just on the market for a while, and the guy just wanted to get rid of it. And you got to remember, this is 2013, this just April is 2013. And people like me were non-existent. I was a rare bird. Most people are like, oh, it's old. Everybody, Japanese people, they want to buy new.
Yeah.
So, especially when you're married. And yeah, I put the offer in, and they said yes. And so I'm like, oh, I guess I'm buying a house now. And I had the cash. I didn't use a bank at the time. I just liked having my cash. It's fun to count it. I'm just kidding. I had a little treasure box with my money in, and I walked into the office, and they were counting it in front of me, So after all fees said and done, it was like 6.8 million to buy the property.
Yep.
And then I put over the years, I put in maybe 4 million yen into renovations, which is pretty decent. And I mean, the property now is, I put 11 million to the property, and it's renting out now for juice on my end. So, which is,
So wow, that's pretty good. 130,000
yeah.
a month for that.
So,
all in all, you said you were over 10 million in.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's a good ROI. Now, here's something about ROI that a lot of people may not notice, but with non-rebuildable and rebuildable. Okay, so you can sacrifice on ROI, no problem, if a place is rebuildable, because you're going to make money with the property going up or it's resellable. But if you're buying a property that's non-rebuildable, they're harder to sell. So you want to make sure when you buy a property like that, that you're getting good ROI on it. 10% and up for sure. So on this property, I'm making 14, 15%, which is great, but that's all the money I'm making. It's still going to go up, and rules can change, but you don't want to count on that. So on a property, if I'm only making 7% interest ROI, at least maybe the property might be resellable or go up, right? So there's the give and take. That's the advantage and disadvantage. So when you go into a negotiation and you see ROI is only at 8% for a non-rebuildable, and you're like, it's not horrible, but it just makes you think. So, especially when I bought it back then, because that same property now is probably worth double.
That much,
Easily. Yeah, it's
wow.
probably double. I mean, like looking in this area, there are no properties for 8 million yen anymore, that size, that close to the
6 million,
station.
yeah.
Well, I got it for 6, but I'm saying what the list price was,
Yeah,
right? Even if you found a property for 10 million yen, it's going to be a dump and it's going to be like 30 minutes from the station. So those deals they're gone. 2013, I was the early bird. You can still make money, obviously, but you won't make 16 to 18%.
Yeah.
Now, and the renters are be like, well, that's not fair, but that's just the way it is, that if they want to do it, they can buy their own houses, but obviously prices have gone up. When I first bought that place though, I was only renting it out for Jumayen.
So, sorry, back to that second place. So,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people probably want to know, like, if they were interested in, let's say, investing in Japan and buying a place for relatively around the same amount of money as you, and putting about the same amount of money in for renovations and stuff, how long would it take them to, let's say, for them to get a return on their initial investment? When would they start?
You mean paid off kind of thing?
Yeah, paid off and making money and
I'd say
seeing a
10
profit.
years is a good.
10 years or less, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not rebuildable, you can pull it off for maybe 7 or 8 years. And if you really like the house, go for 12 years. Anything more depends on where you're buying, especially with non-rebuildable. But I mean, that's something you just know at the time. And you got to remember, there's people coming and going from your houses. Your rents can go up, etc. There's a lot of things that change that around. Like I said, that house, my first tenant was only paying 1,000. So at the time, I was only making 11-12%. But prices go up, etc.
Have rents gone up here in Japan, let's say, since 2013?
Some areas, yes. Yeah, some areas, not everywhere. Some areas have gone up. I don't want to say anything's really gone down, but properties have gotten older, more choices. New properties have gone up a little bit as well. So that's what's dragging everything out. I'd say new properties went up for 20% in this area, like buying a new house here, but old houses went up 100%. Why?
Wow.
Because there weren't people like me. Nowadays, there's a lot of people like me who are actually smarten up. When I was doing this early on, agents like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
People don't think like this.
Yeah.
You're a rare bird. I'm like, what do you know that we don't know? I'm like, I just sensed, I saw this was a great area, great value. It's just one train to Tokyo. So it's like, easy decision for me.
When do you think the rest of the world started cluing in on what you're doing? And
I'd say just a bit after Corona started.
yeah,
Because people started working from home.
I see.
And especially the Japanese, like, oh, wow, there's actually value in these places. I'm like,
yeah.
there is. You fix them up. They're actually pretty nice homes, especially some of the frames. Like this house we're in here now, my man cave, you can look at the beams here. This house is built in the 60s, but look at those beams. They look old?
No,
they
not
look
at all.
They look fantastic.
Fresh coat of stain, you'd never know.
No, exactly.
day
So
old.
the value you get for that is amazing. Considering that they value it almost nothing on the paperwork, I'll take that any day of the week.
day, yeah.
Because a new house can go like this really quickly, right? So there's massive value here.
So what you're saying then, does that mean that since, that was almost, 10 years ago or so, or 6 years ago when Corona started, that there's no more cheap houses to be bought in Japan, or what?
There can be once in a while,
Yeah.
they pop up here and there, but there's a lot of average ones that are, I don't want to say average, I mean average in like, it's good for now. So the price, if you look, my problem is I still picture the prices before. You can't do that. Things have changed. So there are still lots of ROIs to be made and good deals to be had.
Okay.
You just got to make it work. So yes, especially compared to North America. You could still possibly make 8, 9, 10, 11% if you find the right deal. Tokyo, 3, 4, 5%. So it's a different world. I mean, Saitama's got better value. So my first experience with ROI was when I rented out my second house, which means I got a third. So we'll get to that in a minute. The second house, what got me started on this was one of my first tenants I've ever had for that one. I had my tenant in Tabata, in my mansion, but I was paying for the mortgage. This is my first tenant where I actually had the house paid for in cash, so every dollar I'm making is just cash flow, right?
Yeah.
Cash flow, baby. That's what you want. You don't want to over leverage yourself. Cash flow is king. So basically, the guy, I put an ad up for $1,200 a month, Juni Mayen, and I thought that was a fair deal for the house. I put some renovations into it, and he came to see the house, and he's like, "Oh, I want to live here a long time," and I said, "Okay." So I wrote on a piece of paper, said, "You live here for 3 years, I'll give you the rent for $1,100. You live here for 4 years or more, I'll give you for $1,200 or $1,000 a month." Like, I gave him a deal.
It's a really good deal.
Yeah, it was a smart move because you got to remember, turnover costs you money in the future, right? So when people are not living there, you lose that money. So I'd rather just have that money keep going. Plus, it's better just to have the same tenant because changing tenants is a pain in the ass, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, "That's a great deal. I'll do the 4 years."
Yeah.
Boom. And all I asked him for is an extra month on top, saying just in case he left early, he'd lose that month. And he was like, "Wow, you're good at this. You should do this for a living, man." I'm like, "Ooh." So that I was already half there, but that made me push me over the line. Like,
You still in touch with that guy?
Yeah, he's still a good friend. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's an American guy. He was a young guy.
Yeah.
Very nice guy. I like the guy.
Yeah.
I won't mention his name just in case he doesn't want me to, but he's a cool guy. Sure. He always checks in me once in a while.
Yeah.
Actually, when he was renting my house, he actually lived in North Korea for half the year with his wife
wow.
staying here. Yeah, that's kind of a crazy story. We're talking on Facebook and stuff. Like, oh yeah. So that's another story. But no, he was happy about that deal. And actually, he moved out 3 years and change because he got a job offer in the States. And he said, "Oh, I feel bad. Keep that money. You know, I made the promise." And he was one of my very first great tenants. He did everything. If he damaged something, he's like, "How much do I owe you?"
Yeah.
You know, he paid me. He was easy because doing this, you get different kinds of tenants, obviously. So some people trash your house, you know.
Yeah.
Some people were late on their rent,
Yeah.
etc. It's part of the business. But
Speaking of tenants, how are some of your experiences with tenants, let's say the Japanese tenants versus the foreign tenants that you've rented out to over the past few years?
Funny enough, the foreign tenants have been better.
Oh, they have, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I've only had a few Japanese tenants, so it's not really much to compare with.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had good and bad on both sides.
Yeah.
It's just random, you know. Some countries are better than others. It's just what it is, you know. And
really?
like you, as a landlord, you're trying to be kind to people and give them a home, and they're all like, "Oh, we want to rent your place. We love it." But when moving day comes, they don't give a crap anymore, and they run. So the people who treat you the same on the move-in day and the move-out day are the people I really respect. And I'd say 50% of the people I worked with have been like that. You've got the 30, 40 who just kind of leave me, and then you got the 10 that just don't care about you at all.
Yeah.
So it's part of the business,
Yeah.
and it shouldn't be like that, but some people are just horrible, you know.
I'm sure they get that in all countries. So what year are we up to now? 2013?
That was 2013, property 2. Is that good for property 2?
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about property number 3.
Okay, so property number 3 wasn't planned, okay? Property number 3 was basically...
It's like a baby. This wasn't planned, yeah.
Knocked it up.
Yeah.
So basically, I had, I'd say about 3.5 million yen in the bank. I was just starting my school up. I had my mortgage being paid, and I had no more rent being paid. So when you're not paying your rent, you're able to save more money a lot quicker, right? It's a lot easier to save money. That's an expense gone. And I'm living here long term, so obviously I want to own. So basically I was saving, and I got up to 3.5 million yen. And you know me, I just like looking around sometimes at home. At home is a site where people look for houses. Others, I like at home the best. And I just put my area. And I found this house that was, I think they were asking 7.6 million yen. I'm like, wow, that's still
good deal, yeah.
Still decent. It was 30 minutes from the station. Needed a lot of work. It was kind of small, but it was rebuildable.
Oh, there's a
So yeah, that was like, ooh, this is rebuildable at that price. So I sent the guy an email as a joke. I said, I'll take it if it's 3.5 million yen. He's going to knock your drink over again. Mm-hmm. Careful, buddy.
This is Maui, everybody. Maui, come
Maui,
up here.
the troublemaker.
The YouTube world.
Maui.
This is our special guest.
Yes.
Hi.
Okay. You're going to listen to our story. Okay, it's going to be a long one.
Do you sell dog houses? I'd like to buy a dog house.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Shake Acid's doghouse. I like that.
There you go.
Roof, roof. So
Anyway,
basically, I sent the guy an email, a joke email, because I'm still learning about this stuff. And I said, hey, can I buy the house for 3.5 million yen? Mm-hmm. Obviously, he's going to say no. That's ridiculous. It's less than half price. And he got back to me. He didn't get angry at all. He says, no, but the lowest I go is maybe 5.5. I was like, what?
Amazing deal, yeah.
It's still an amazing deal. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anybody at the time. I'm the richest guy of all my friends, so I can't go ask my friends for loans.
Yeah.
They usually ask me for loans. Do you know any of those guys? Anyhow, so basically, I said, well, I made this really joke in the email. I said, hey, look, if you can give me a private loan, I'll pay you back in a year because I'm good at saving money. I could save 20K in the next year, guaranteed.
Yeah.
I'll buy the house at 5.5.
Yeah.
And I think he's gonna, nope. He responded, come and see the house first. Whoa.
I remember when this guy told me that, and I just laughed. I said, that's never going to happen. Then, sure enough. By the way, you'll see this is like a reoccurring theme throughout all of his houses. You know,
things that are not supposed to happen.
Not supposed to happen. It happens quite often.
Yeah, my stories sound like bullcrap all the time. You know, I'd like to say BS.
Yeah. Anyways, go ahead. So
basically, he said, come and see it. Yeah. So I went to see it. I looked around. I looked at it. I'm like, needs work, obviously. Yeah. I like it. You know, and I'm still learning about the business, and I'm not a renovator myself yet. Yeah. I can paint and stuff at the time. I'm still learning. I didn't have the tools. But anyhow, I said, to him, yeah, sure, I can do that. He said, are you guaranteed you can do 2 million? And I said, yes, of course I can. Okay, he said, can I put it in the contract? Yeah. And he actually wrote in the contract saying, if you do not pay this 2 million yen you owe me within 1 year, I will take back the house. Wow. It was in the actual contract. Yeah. And I paid him back in 9 months.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there in the bank. He's like, wow, you're a man of your word. Yeah. Like, you actually did this. I'm like, sure I am. And I did it quicker too, right?
I'm sure all his family and friends were probably thinking, that foreigner's never going to pay him.
Yeah, maybe.
He would have got the money and his house back. Win-win for him.
Yeah, of course. But I actually paid it off and I got the house.
Amazing, yeah.
So at that house, I put maybe 3 million yen into the house. So that became like a 10 million house as well. And I was renting that out for Jumayan.
Maybe we could ask some of the viewers in the comments if anyone's ever bought a house that way and it actually worked out like that. Where they have enough money.
It's called creative financing. Now, don't get any hopes up because that's a very rare thing here. Because A, it's rare to begin with. Yeah. B, the Japanese personality, it doesn't go that route. Yeah. Especially if you're a foreigner, right?
Yet he does this again in house number 5 or 6. Oh, I better not ruin that part. Anyway,
yeah, I mean,
recurring theme, as I said before. Yeah, go ahead.
Recurring theme. Well, that's what pays about speaking fluent Japanese and being charming. Yeah. Because I come off that way to these people, and they're really interested in my story too. Like, wow, that's the guy that actually said, "Are you doing this for a living or something? You're really good at this." I'm like, well, not really, but yeah, I guess this would technically, if it's my third house, it might be. Yeah. So basically, what I did is I bought that house, and I decided. This is the first time I was going to rent one of my houses for cash. Yeah. Because I'm just moving out of my house number 2. Now I was thinking, which one is easier to rent? Which one can I get more rent for? Mm-hmm. So I took the smaller place farther from the station because it didn't matter. I don't use the station. My school was still a bike ride from either house. So that's why I decided to rent out house number 2. Mm-hmm. And I moved into house number 3. And so I had my mortgage being paid. I had my income from my first house and my school growing. So I was able to save that money that much faster, which led me to other houses. Is that okay for house number 3?
Yeah, that sounds great. So what year are we up to now?
That was 2015, I'm going to say, because I bought the house in 2013 and I lived in it for about a year and a half. So 2015-ish.
So I mean, 3 houses, I mean, most people, the average Joe Blow would never even have 2, let alone 3 houses. So what did some of your family and friends think when you said, I just bought 3 houses and think about buying a 4th one?
Yeah, they were like, what? Yeah. Even when I went back, talked about it the first time, it was like, wow, what a big story. So that's amazing, man. I mean, they could never imagine where I am now, but it's just like, even for me at the time, it was like, is this for real? Yeah. You know, that's when I realized, oh, this is possible. Yeah. And one of my Canadian friends saw that being a banker and he had access to funds. So he's like, oh, You find the houses, I'll invest in you. Let's do this, man. So he had this great idea to do this. And that got me more motivated because I told the guy, I'm going to have 10 houses and I'm going to retire off the incomes of doing that. And, you know, a white guy talking sounds like bullcrap sometimes. And it's like, and he didn't know that too, right? Now that I've done it, he's like, you were serious. So that guy he was invested in me and he was going to do all this stuff. But last minute he backed out. It's like, that's depressing. Because I was finding all these great deals in Saitama at the time because it was still early on before it started going up like crazy. It went up a little bit, but not like crazy like now. So his loss. And he even admits that because he ended up buying in Vancouver. So he could have bought 15 to 20 houses here, but instead he bought one house in Vancouver. So he lost out on big money there. So anyhow, but that's okay. I'm glad he did that because it lit a fire under my ass to just keep doing what I'm doing, especially with you and him. You also pushed me as well. Actually, you met that guy once. So anyhow, so can I talk about house number 4 then?
Yeah, sure. I'll go for it.
Okay, so house number 4 was I saved up about, this was about 2016, so about a year later, I'd say. And I didn't have much money yet. I think I had like 3 million yen in the bank. And I was just peeking around and I saw this one house for sale that was 5.5 million yen. It was a cheap house. It was non-rebuildable. No, it was 6.5 actually. It was non-rebuildable, and it was a dump. Like it was it's probably the worst house I've ever had.
And remember that one? Yeah.
You remember that one? Yeah, that was. But it was big.
Yeah.
It was 100 meter squared land, and house was about 80ish. It was quite massive for a Japanese house. And it was a great location. It was about 25-minute walk to Urawa Station, which is a great station in here. All my other properties were near Minamoto Station.
So the listing was 5.5 and
6.5 actually.
6.5, and the negotiation master Colin got it for. Dun, da, da, da.
Well, actually, I pulled this one off for what I did is another negotiation. I can't really tell the truth of this story because there's some things that might be illegal in it.
I see.
On the agent side. Well, I'll tell it anyways. Who cares? So, so basically, because none of the agents will be known in this, so who cares, right? So basically, I went to see the house, and I said I got 3-something million yen, and he's like, that's not going to happen. I got other people interested in buying it. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I just let it go. And 3 months later, the guy calls me back, and he goes, oh, you still interested in that house? I'm like, I'm trying to think, which house is this? I don't remember if I've seen any others. I don't think I have, but I just like, what? Oh, that house. Yeah, I remember that house. He's like, you still would like to make an offer on that house? Obviously, his other people backed out or he was full of crap or whatever. And I started talking to him.
Yep.
And basically, I can't remember. I think I didn't have the cash. So what I did is he gave me a side loan. And basically, I think I offered him, was it 3.8 or 4 or something like that? I don't remember the exact numbers. But I got a better deal, like the 6.5. But he wanted more. He wanted 5. If 5 million is like, I could have nickeled and dimed down more, I think. But I was just happy that he was actually doing it. And he was accepting my crazy ass offer of doing the negotiations like that. So that place was, I don't want to say a money pit, but it was my hardest place to work on. And I didn't have my tools yet because I wasn't quite sure how long I was going to do this for. I actually thought this might be 1 or 2 of my last houses I'd do. So I'm like, I don't need to buy tools because, tools cost money. I should have bought them. I could have, because, I could have power drill, whatever, circular saw, jigsaw, all these different things you need, which I have now. But at the time, I just had a hammer, nails, and a saw.
Yep.
And I actually sawed everything down, all the tatami mats, everything. I spent 8 months on that place working, and you were there. You saw it.
Yeah.
That was a lot of work. What was your opinion on that place?
What's that?
What was your thoughts on that place?
Mistake.
In that sense?
Yeah, but now that I look at it,
It wasn't.
I mean, it was a good learning step,
But it wasn't a mistake at the end.
No,
right?
no.
It just looked like it at the time.
Yeah.
Because the 8 months was a lot of work, but I could have saved a lot of time by using regular tools, etc.
Yeah.
I didn't do everything though. I had to pay somebody to install.
You got to start somewhere, right? So.
Yeah. That was my first, actually, that was the first on that house I had a first experience with a septic tank. A jokaso in Japanese, septic tank, where they actually have to pump out the poo. So, but there actually was a pipe on the road. That cost me 1 million yen to get attached.
Yeah.
That's why that was expensive. So I probably spent 5-6 million on the place. So yes, in that sense, it's a money pit, but in the long run, I'm still making 10% on it.
Yeah.
Technically. So
Yeah, beware potential buyers out there. Some of those houses you look at are
yeah.
dirt cheap. There's usually a pretty good reason
Yes.
why.
However, if I had the tools at the time, that house was still very doable.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't falling apart. It still had the beams were good. It just needed an overhaul. And once you saw the renovations, you're like, wow.
Yeah, it looked great.
It looked great, right?
I'm sure the tenants were happy to move in.
Yeah, they moved in literally 3 days after I finished it. Or somebody phoned me, "Go to town." I'm like, "Wow, that was quick." So maybe it was meant to be. I don't know. So at the time, that was my last house. Like I was good. I was actually having spreadsheets saying, "Okay, I got 3 houses. 1 I'm living in, 1 I'm paying my mortgage, 2 I'm renting out and running my school. If I did this for the next 10 years, how much cash would I have at the end of 10 years?" Okay, like it was fun.
I remember we used to talk about this in the restaurants all the time. Yeah.
And you're like,
then I'd be like, but if you had 4 or 5 or 6 or 7.
yeah, and I'd be like, no, I don't need it. But, God actually obviously had other plans. And this turkey head here pushing me.
Yeah, I always push them to get more.
So basically, that was where I was at. I had the spreadsheet. I'm like, oh, if I did this for the next 10 years, I'd have $500,000. I'm good to go. I could retire.
Yeah.
But obviously, life had other stories.
He was a greedy little bastard.
No, I'm not greedy at all.
No. There's just so many opportunities.
Heart of gold, you always say, right?
But this guy was meant to do what he was doing. Just all the things he's done in Japan leading up to it and all the experiences he had and just everything was kind of like stepping stones on his journey to be, I guess, the founder of Kick Assets and now helping tons of people.
And that wasn't really my plan though, right? You knew me. I was kind of,
yeah.
I don't want to say I was humble, but I was kind of like, this is good enough. I'm good. I'm happy.
Yeah, I never thought he'd be a real estate mogul.
Yeah, because you're the one
today.
You're the one that kept pushing me, right?
Yeah,
it's this guy's fault.
Still,
it's
sorry I made you rich.
I mean, I was still rich. I was happy in life, right? A simple life. I was happy. I had my cats, and we're good to go. My school was doing well.
Yeah.
I was making good money at my school. But yeah, that's 4. Would you like to hear about number 5 now?
Yeah. Well, hey, we got all day, so let's keep on going. 4,
You guys want to hear about number 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, come on, baby.
Well,
all right, number 5.
Number 5, baby. Number 5 was not planned, but it happened.
Again, here we go. Yeah.
I love all these stories. All these stories are fun to tell.
Number 5 wasn't planned. Would you just wake up in the morning, I just bought another house? What?
Yeah, well, these stories are cool, man. Every story's a little different.
Yeah.
I love telling them. To relive them. Like, did that really happen?
Yeah.
So what happened is that I had my school running there, and the owner of the building was saying, "Oh, there's a leak in the roof. We might have to. You have to move. We're gonna have to tear this building down. Blah blah blah." So he's like, "Can you find another place?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to do that."
Yeah.
And at the time, I think I had 9 million saved up.
Yeah.
90K, 100K maybe, and I'm like looking for places to stay, and renting for a place for your school is expensive, right? You're like, I can't afford that. If I do that, I'm gonna lose all my money. There's no point in teaching anymore. And on the journey, I said, why don't I just see what out there's for offices? And I found this 3-story building, which had a shop, a bar, and an office on the top. It was going for 28 million yen. No chance I could get that. And I walked in, I found the address of the place, and I actually walked in and said, "Hey, buddy, pal, I'm interested. Could you give me one of those private loans, blah, 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 get the price down to 22? And he actually kind of soft agreed to it, meeting him in person. He actually considered it. He went down to 22 for me, 22 million for a building. And we didn't get to the loan part like he said he considered, but there was no actually something done there. Which brings my first tenant back into the picture. I told him about the story, and he said, "I'll invest with you," because he made money off of crypto. He's like, "Yeah, I'll own half your building." And I was actually considering it. Like, I was thinking about it. But then I was like, do I really want a building? I'd have to move like 30 minutes from where I am now for my school, and my students quit. I was like, I'm not sure. But at the same time, because I'm looking online for offices, I was already seeing what's out there for houses. And I happened to find this house that was 7.6 million yen, which is my birthday, my birth year. I was like, wow, that's a deal.
Year, 76, yeah.
That's a deal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, it had a lot of likes on it. Like, I think there was like 30 or 40 people who really, really wanted to see the house. And I happened to see it like pop up on that day. I said, "Can I see it?" So I went to see it, and I was number 2 to see it. And I looked at it, and it's my house I'm living in now. And I looked at it, I'm like, this place is actually in pretty damn good shape. All I need to do is change the bathroom and the wallpaper. I'm like, this is too good to be true. And it's 100 meter square land, 100 meter square house size. It's kind of rebuildable. And it was 30 minutes from the station, but it was a beautiful area.
Yeah, I remember this house. I thought it was some sort of typo. I thought,
Yeah.
there's no way they could offer that house.
Yeah.
The owner actually, I don't mean to be rude, but I think the owner has been an idiot to sell it that cheap. They
Yeah,
got
it was a
much more for
typo.
that, yeah.
Even when they were going through the process, the agent was like, I think we put it down too low. Now, here's the reason.
Oh, it was a typo.
No, he thought, because they,
It was, yeah,
they,
yeah.
they thought in their head, maybe we did price it too low.
Yeah.
But here's the reason. I said it's half non-rebuildable.
Yeah.
It's rebuildable. However, because it's on a lower level than the main street, it's connected to 2 roads, as you know. You have to put it higher to get it to catch to make it 100% rebuildable. Here, you'd have to negotiate it. So that's a hassle and costing you money. So technically, they did justify why they lowered it. But still, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
The house, as is, was great. And when I actually saw the actual contract to sign it out, there was a loan in there, which you don't see all the time. There was a loan for 16 million yen. I'm like, what's this for? And they said, oh, that's rentals we got done in the early 2000s. They took out a loan. I'm like, to get that done, I'm like thinking, so you're selling me the house for this price, but you got rentals done for this price? Like, what?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. So luckily, and that's the only house I never negotiated on. I'm like, I'll take it. I tried, like, how about this price? He's like, no, there's a lot of people shit. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'll take it.
Yeah.
And luckily, I was the second person to see it.
Yeah.
Luckily, the first people said no. They didn't want it. It was this Japanese wife who just
Big
wanted something
mistake,
new.
folks. Should have got that one.
It was. And there was actually people behind me waiting, and there was a couple from Nepal or India that were waiting to buy it. And of course, that's what the agent told me. I wasn't sure if they were lying to me or not. But they weren't lying to me. How I know is because 5 years later, I was at the grocery store down the street with my buddy Steve, and this Indian guy walks up to me and says, hey, you own the house up there, don't you? I'm like, how do you know? Because I was number 3. I saw your video.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? Isn't that insane?
You'll hear this a lot in more videos too. It's crazy.
The signs and stuff that happens,
Yeah,
like, wow. So one, it was cool, and 2, it made me realize that the agent wasn't lying.
Yeah.
Like you'd say, oh, an Indian couple, that's an odd way to say that. They were on the phone all the time. We want the house. Is that guy backing out yet? Is he failing?
Yeah.
And he went through. So they ended up buying a new house just down the street here.
Oh, you've actually seen it. Okay.
Just the outside. I haven't been in.
So what they end up paying for that? Do you know?
30 or 40 million.
Oh, as opposed to what they could have got for that.
Yes, and they're like, wow, you got lucky on that house. I did. It's a super gem. I got really lucky. You know, I invested wallpaper, new air cons, and a new bathroom. So not even 10 million yen is still worth that. You know, it's a great deal.
And those Indian folks probably, got a 30-year loan, 35-year loan?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
God.
I mean, he's a professor. He's doing okay for himself. Yeah. But I was just happy to that was my last really good deal in years, I should say. Yeah. So that was house number 5. And that wasn't planned, but it came out. So basically that made me move here, which means I had to renovate the other one a little bit more, and I rented that house. So now I had 3 incomes, right?
And so this is the house you're currently living in now, yeah?
Next to my man cave.
Wow.
So I live next door, right? So it's pretty insane to think how that happened. So number 5 was
the man cave was what, number 6?
We'll get
7?
to that.
Okay, sorry.
We don't interrupt here.
Sorry, I need my spreadsheet, folks.
There's so many houses. Even he gets confused, even though he's been here for the whole journey himself.
Yeah.
So you're the one that's like, holy crap, this is for real. At first he's telling me what to do, and next he's like, what should I do? Mr. Wise One? It's so funny. It's hilarious, man. So number 5 was going to be my last one. I'm like, this is good. I got my income. My school's doing great, whatever. You know, I'm saving money.
5,
I was saving I was making, 5-6K a month at the time. It was enough money to live off. I could save 3 or 4 months. I was like, saving 5 million yen a year. That's great.
It's good, yeah.
But I had one more in mind I was thinking to go, and you were part of that.
Yeah.
Where did we go for that?
I don't know.
You remember you said, let's go find a property down there.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I was always telling them, come on, you got 5 now, you're good. Let's think about a vacation house, a holiday house, you know? And that beautiful area was in a place called Shimoda, right?
That's right.
Or Izu, which is
the whole area.
Absolute beautiful little peninsula, just about a 3-hour drive from Tokyo, in case you don't know.
Yeah.
Tell us all about that.
With beautiful properties, affordable properties. Yeah. Very nice. The only problem is it's a little bit far from Tokyo. So What I wanted is I wanted a big piece of land with a garden on it. None of my houses up until now had that. Some had little gardens, but none of them had parking, and none of them had massive gardens. I just wanted a place to chill.
Yeah.
So he's like, hey, I'll drive you down there one day.
Nice guy.
And he actually did. Yeah, he's a nice guy. There's always something he wants, though. Anyhow, so basically, he's like, I made a list of like 10 properties, and he drove me down there, and we actually got to see maybe 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
There was a McMansion in that tour. There was another house.
Yeah. Some interesting properties.
There was some interesting properties.
Wow.
And I think I had maybe 8 million at the time saved. So the one we found that we really liked, it was like 20 something million. There was no way. The McMansion, I got it down to 19 something.
Yeah.
It's just nothing feasible. And I got back and I was really pumped about it, but I still had my school. I'm like, you know what? I'm not sure what to do. So I let it sit for a few months and I was saving. I was saving quicker at the time. And I think I hit around 13 million yen. And I was still considering the McMansion, it was still there, etc. And of course, I'm like, before I commit to that, let's just see what's around here for one last hope. And this big chubby guy, Asian guy, is like, hey, I'll take you around to see some houses. And he took me around to see a bunch of houses.
Is that the guy with had trouble opening the door?
Yeah, that key
video?
guy.
Yeah, I
Yeah, he's very
remember that
nervous
guy.
and sweating and sitting on the sofa.
I can see the sweat beating off his head. Yeah.
That guy was funny, actually. I feel bad because I never actually bought anything from him.
Yeah.
But this is where I learned about buyers and sellers agents.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to make a sale.
Yeah.
Use seller agents, go direct. Because before this, I was always just going with the flow. But from 6 to 7 and up, I started realizing, oh, there's a game to this and how to save money. That's where I learned a lot more even. I'm learning as I go. You know, it took a long time to get where I am now, but I'm pretty much there. So at the time, he took me to see those houses and it got me pumped again, like, oh, there's still potential around here. And I was making offers on one and they didn't accept my deal. So just like, okay, whatever. So I went home and then I took the 5 best properties in Saitama, put them in a spreadsheet, pluses and negatives about each one, blah, 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 within my budget. And there was one in my area near me that was like 12.8 for the longest time. And it didn't sell. And there was a couple others here and there. And the one that was 12.8 suddenly went down to 9.
Big jump, yeah.
Yep. But before it went down to 9, I actually had an appointment to see another house. So I went to see the other house. It was in the 5. I saw all the 5s, but I didn't decide yet. And I went to see the 4th. And then as I'm seeing the 4th, as I'm negotiating for that, this one went down to 9. I'm like, this one's close to my house. I ought to go see that one at the same time. So I went to see that one. And I think I had maybe 13 point something million yen in the bank. And I'm just looking at both prices. I'm thinking, what can I do here? You know? So I'm like, I was honest with one agent. I said, hey, look, there's another house I'm really interested in. And I'd like to get both. And I said, if you can give me this price, I might be able to squeeze it in. And so I got the 9 million yen house down to, I offered 7, but they countered at 8. That's the minimum we're going. And it was actually a house built in the 80s.
Yeah. It's a good deal then, 8 million.
Yeah, it was still a good deal. It was a 30-minute walk to the station, but it was in decent shape. The frame was still in decent shape. I had to renovate the whole thing. But it still looked like it was pretty decent. And it was on a decent road. It was rebuildable. And then the other one was also rebuildable, but it was in rough shape. I had to put a lot of renovations into that. But here's the thing. You don't have to put those renovations right away. You want to get the properties first and then deal with that later. So I could deal with that. As I'm saving money, I could put that money in. So obviously I was broke. So basically how I did this was, I got both people down to prices that could get me within my budget. I got them down to a total of maybe, I think it was, including all the fees, about 16 million yen. I only had 13 point something, so I had to get 2 point something quickly, okay? So what you do is you say, yeah, I'll take both houses, but you stall on the contract date. So I made sure the contracts were like about a month and change away from each other, so I could hustle and gather that money together. Because I think the contract was like, they were a month apart from each other. So I squeezed both ins with no funds left. I had literally like $2,000 left in my bank account.
So what you're saying is you bought 2 houses.
I bought 6 and 7 within literally, at the same time.
I bought 2 pairs of shoes that month. This guy bought 2 houses.
That was a great post to put on Facebook. People are like, what the hell?
That's insane.
You remember that one?
I remember that. We kept making all these jokes, about that.
That's insane. So when I made the list of 5 properties, I actually got 2 on the list.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't decide. One was way better located, but one was, the 80s house was newer.
Yeah.
So I was like, and the other one needed a lot of work. So at the end of the day, both houses cost me about over 10 million yen after renovations and stuff like that. So, but they're both making 10% and up as well.
Yeah.
But getting them at the start deal like that was like, holy crap. Pulling off, like you said, 2 houses at one shot was such a crazy Facebook post. Hey guys, I just bought 2 houses today. And people were like, what?
Yeah. I remember that.
That's insane.
That's insane.
So basically my
God.
my Izu dream went out the window because I was totally broke.
Yeah.
And guess what? Right after I bought those 2 houses, Corona hit. So I was renovating both those houses during Corona, and that gave me a bit of a panic attack because when people can't come and rent, etc., like that, you get scared. Luckily, I found renters. So even then, 2 foreigners, they were already living here, so it was pretty lucky. You never know.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions about those 2 houses?
Yeah, so you're talking about 6 and 7, yeah?
Yes.
So why don't we start off with number 6? So, whereabouts was that located?
Which one is considered number 6, I wonder?
Which one did you buy technically first? Did you sign first?
I saw...
They're twins.
I think I saw one before the other, but I finished the other one faster.
Okay, well.
I think that was your Bronco Billy's, where we had the lunch down there. You've been there, right?
Yeah.
So that's Minamura Station.
Okay.
And the other one is Nishiroa Station.
Okay.
That was 7 minutes from the station.
Yeah.
That's why I bought that one. 7 minutes for the station was my first property that was that close. At that price, it was like, wow. And now in that area, at the time, Nishiroa had kind of like a stigma to it because it's not a big station, but it's one station. It's 30 minutes walk from Musashiurua Station, which is a great station. So I'm like, there's 2 birds here I'm hitting. Like, it's a great deal. People don't see that. You can't see past, oh, this is the only great area. Yeah, if you go a little bit farther, there's some good deals here. I'd rather pay half price than here. So, because that same house in that same area would be like 15 to 20 million yen now, right? 7 minutes? The land alone is worth it. It's because it needed a lot of work. And
how fast were you turning these houses around from buying them in the state of the condition they were to actually being ready to rent?
I actually had the tools at the time. When I bought 6 and 7, I actually put the investment into those tools. I bought my circular saw, I bought my power drill, all that stuff. You needed it to get the screw. And then I started screwing everything in, proper renovations. I mean, the other ones work too, right? But screwing in is a lot better. And I learned a lot more how to do things, so my process got faster. So it took me about a month to do that house and about 2 months to do the other house.
Speaking of renovation, sorry to interrupt you. So for some of us out there some of you out there that are not very DIY capable, could you just tell us really quickly, now this is probably for another video, but about a new service that you've begun to offer for those sort of people?
Oh, you mean my actual service?
Your
my
renovation
clients?
services? Yeah, just a really quick.
Oh, I just help, like, because of my expertise and I know what things cost, I know how long things take, or I know the people who can do it. Like, for example, if a foreigner came over here and they want rentals done, they can't speak the language, and they wouldn't know what a good price is. So for my service I offer, I charge 10% on renovation fees, so I become the middleman. So I can recommend somebody that I know, or work with somebody that the agent recommends. I'm not always to my specific people. I can use the agent people too, whatever's more convenient. But that gives me the middleman to make sure that the two can connect. Because a lot of people won't even bother selling you the house or dealing with you because it's like, oh, language barriers, that's impossible. Especially when you're dealing with renovations and the details. I'm doing that now, and it's a lot of back and forth, you know. And the fact that if they're giving an unfair price in the renovations, I can say, actually, you know what? No, that's not fair. Or I can negotiate a better deal for my client. So there's a lot of things I could save the money. So the 10% I charge actually pays for itself and or more. Because if they went directly, they'd be probably paying 20 or 30% more. I've seen renovations that are just range of prices like, wow, you overpaid for that, dude. You know, I've seen it time and time again. So, and I'm a pretty honest guy, you know. I mean, you don't want to be nitpicking and like, give me a deal. You want fair pricing, and that's all I expect when I go for renovations. It's the same thing. So, yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, so for some of your new viewers, in case you didn't know, he pretty much offers the entire full package deal. That meaning, what, you'll pretty much meet them at the airport if they need you to, and take you to the houses that you want to see, and
Yeah, we'll go together.
help you sell them, help you buy them, and even when it comes time to renovations,
Yeah,
I'll help you do that as well. It's amazing. It's amazing.
you.
But anyways, again, another video. We've got like 100 videos to shoot here. This guy's just got like
A lot of stories.
a lot of stories that unfortunately.
I'm not paying you to say that stuff though, by the way.
No, I'm not. I don't get paid anything here. But anyways,
You're the one that wanted to do this, so.
back to the Twinsy houses here. So number 6, 7, yes.
So 6 and 7, I spent 1 month renovating that during COVID. It was quiet.
Yeah.
So I was able to focus on that. And my school was shut down for a couple months as well. So I had the time to go there. I literally just slept there. You know, that one was closer, so I came home for that one. But the other one, I just stayed there and I just woke up, worked all day, slept, did it again, and repeat. And I paid some guys to deliver the wood because I didn't have a license. I don't have a license. And
Sorry?
I don't have a driver's license.
Oh, to drive,
so
yeah,
it's good to have if you have a driver's license here, obviously, to drive, get the wood. But, there's a lot of services that could help you out in that sense. And I don't need a lot. So basically, I ordered the kitchen and stuff online and got all the wood, put it all together myself. A month there, 2 months there. And the renovations of that place cost me about 2 million yen because it was already in decent shape.
Wow.
The other house cost me about 4 million yen, I guess. And then I replaced the roof in the future, so almost 4.6. But luckily I got a good price at the start, so it works out. They're both about just over 10 million yen each, I'd say, including. You got to remember, you got to pay all the fees too to get the houses and taxes later. So it's worked out. Yeah, they're paying for themselves. Obviously, I'm giving the current tenant who's living in number 7 a deal. More than I should be getting for the place, considering it's so close to the station. Because places close to the station, you're obviously able to find tenants quicker and get higher rents. Not a lot more. So, for example, if my place over there is making Juichi yen, the one near the station could make Ju Sama yen, right? Like, it's not a lot more, but it's more.
It all adds up.
It all adds up. Yeah. But the point is, you get them rented out quicker. There's a lot more people. 7 minutes? That was, for me, that rented out like that. 7 minutes to the station is pretty insane. As you know, the closer you get to the station, there's less properties. So for me to find an affordable property near the station like that was...
That's very lucky of you.
It was very lucky. So, yes.
Wow. So
6 and 7, 7 and 6.
7.
I'll call that 7 because it was 7 minutes. And it's near 7-Eleven.
Insane. I think some of the viewers out there, if I ask you this question, how many people do you know own 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 houses? How many people do you know? I'm trying to think now.
Especially in Canada, where I'm from. Go Canada.
The only guy I know that owns 7 houses. Now, I'm not talking about Monopoly game houses, people, okay? I mean real houses, Anyways, let's dive into number 8 here.
Oh my God, that's so insane that you say that.
Not sure if this memory card is going to be able to take all 17. Anyways, go ahead.